Hey, how are you? Gonna just,
Proverbs 4.
oops,
Listen, my son.
gonna make sure we're on here before I jump in. I think we are for sure. Okay, so how are you? My goodness, is that the question of the hour or what? Okay, now hold on a second. I gotta make sure it's all looking weird now and make sure everything is normal. Okay, yeah, my screen looks weird. Anyway, hey, how are you? Wow. Um, you know, it's just like what in what's going on in the world right now, okay? So it's chaos in our country. And it's just like, what do you say? What do you think? You don't know what to say. You don't know what to think. The complexity of it all is mind-boggling. It's it's hundreds of years of history, even thousands of years of history. It's current events. It's understanding people, whose shoes we don't walk in. And so it's funny, I'm actually listening to the Bible all the way through this year, and today it just started on Proverbs, and the proverb Proverbs 4 was one of them, and Proverbs 4:5. It was amazing that it was today, kind of, because this was just all so on my mind, what's going on in our country. And it was get wisdom, get understanding. And it was, hey Evie, it's a father talking to his son. Like the first 9 chapters of Proverbs are a father talking to his son. And it was just like so emphatic. Get wisdom, get understanding. If you do nothing else in the world, get those things and your life will hopefully go well. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to get wisdom, we're trying to get understanding, we're trying to, if we can, put ourselves in other people's places, really, like we've never done before, try to understand what's going on. And so I'm just sort of like, I feel like all I can really do is talk about my experience, and maybe that's all any of us can do. But in addition to just talking to other people and hearing their experience. So, you know, we adopted Sally 10 years ago from Ethiopia. Her skin is as dark brown as it comes. It's gorgeous. It's satin. It's like I just continue to be entranced by it. Not that that means anything, but that's what this is all about. Or it's just about so much. So anyway, um, you know, when we came back from bringing her back from Ethiopia, I think it was maybe a year. Okay, so she's like this little 2-year-old girl, and I go to this adoption conference in Atlanta, Georgia. It was a conference it's hard to get in. Like the tickets, I missed the tickets for the year before because we adopted from Russia too prior to that. So I missed them because they were sold out in like 4 hours, and hundreds of people go. Man, I don't know if it's 1,000, but a lot. And so this time I was determined. The tickets go on sale at midnight. And so I like stayed up till midnight. The moment they went on sale, I bought my ticket. And then the conference was, I don't know, 6 months later or something like that. So it's a big deal. I can't even remember the name. I could find it if oh, Created for Love. That's what it's called. Created for Love, if you want to look it up. Anyway, it's a conference, like a 3-day conference for adoption moms that have adopted children. And I was so excited. So I went to that, and one of the largest, so there were breakout sessions, like a big general session and then little breakout panel sessions. And so one of the breakout panel sessions that I went to, and that had a lot of people, like at least a couple hundred women were in there, it was basically for white moms who had adopted black children. And the panel was for black women moms. And that thing was at least several hours long, that whole panel discussion, question Q&A and everything. And that was a long time ago. I mean, that was 8 years ago, probably. And so, what I remember about that several hour conversation with those awesome women, and these were women who were probably, I'd say, between 40 and 50, maybe between 40 and 60. They were moms. They had raised, children and all this kind of stuff, black children. And so the big two topics of conversation, there were a lot of others, but the two that stood out to me were all about girls' hair, which is a big conversation. And the second one was about having black sons and listening to these women talk about raising black boys and just what they go through just getting stopped on the street by a policeman, or just all the things they go through. And if you want to see a great write-up today, go look at Maggie Logan's post. And this is Kim Cade's daughter. Maggie is like 22, 23 years old. She grew up being homeschooled in our little circle, and she married a black man. And today she has a post on her Facebook of describing. It's incredible. It's a great job, Maggie. It's her describing how she didn't understand what it was to live a life of a black man, in that case, until she married him. And she just lists, like, I don't know, 10 things about what she's experienced. This is in the last few years when they walk into a restaurant. So she's white, he's black, so there's the mixed thing. What happens when she walks into a restaurant with him? What happens when they get stopped by police? What happens when just people that are supposedly friends say certain things? And it's pretty horrible. But anyway, I don't know. We a couple years after that conference, we had our last adoption paperwork in, and we were going to adopt a boy from Ethiopia. And then we had to switch it to the Congo, and my gosh, what that's like, you know, adoption agencies for Ethiopia, they are run well, and things. Ethiopia is a third world country, but things were run well when you compare to Congo. Boy, you talk about like back alleys and just I don't know what. We had an agency here. Hey, Amy. And they could barely, just the communication, and just it was crazy, honestly. That and what happened with that, we were matched with this little boy. He was born on my birthday. And I'm always looking at signs and things, and I was just sure that that was a sign that he was our son. And he is. And then we found out that he died at one point. We were actually driving home on a vacation, from a vacation, and we got the call that he'd gotten a fever and died. He was 1 year old, and it was traumatic for everybody because we had his picture. He was our boy. We named him, his name plus a family name of ours, and it was like, the whole family was just waiting to be able to go get him. But I will say that then and since then, just that when I think about moms with their black sons, our best friends are Lorenzo and Jennifer Dunford, and he's a black man, she's a white woman, or as they say, dark brown and light brown, which we've adopted that to just hopefully be part of a solution that maybe is hundreds of years away. And they're friends of ours for 20 years, and the stories they've had that they've dealt with. Anyway, those are a few of my experiences for what they're worth. And so today I was watching a video that my friend Cece Cheney, she is a friend of mine I've met on Facebook, and she is a black woman. who lives in, actually, she's American, but chose to move down to Colombia. So, just for various reasons. Anyway, she did a video today on anxiety, what's going on in the world, it was so good. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you what she said. She had 6 tips. They were great tips. Just like right now, like in the moment, what can we do? Because this whole thing is anxiety producing. You just turn on the news, you just start looking at videos, you just start looking at your Facebook feed and all the things everybody's posting, or wherever, and it's just quickly can become anxiety producing. And so, all right, so the first thing is connect to your senses, and that is just like the 5 senses. What do I see right now? There's some flowers. There's my urn outside of my front porch. There's my rebounder. What do I hear right now? I hear a dog barking. What do I smell? Just connecting to the senses and just trying to make a break in the brain, right? Of what you're thinking and feeling, but connecting to the senses. What are you experiencing right now? Just notice them, name them. That's number one. Number two, breathing exercises. Literally taking a deep breath in, count to 5, hold it for 5, breathe out for 5, and just do that. We need oxygen to the brain, right? Number 3, go outside. Just get outside. Just stand up and move outside. Doesn't matter what the weather is, just get outside. That does a lot of things. Number 4, speak gratitude. Just start a list of what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful that, gosh, I can sit here on this internet crazy thing and talk to people. Wow. And they can talk back. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for this shelter that I get to stay warm in. I'm grateful for the mascara that I just got. Whatever. I don't care if it's little or big. Just get in a grateful mindset. Number 5, you know me, and I'm always talking natural this and healthy that. And so food for the body, but what about the food for the mind? What are we putting in our eyes and in our ears? It's the same thing. Garbage in is going to produce garbage out. Just is. So are we putting all that chaos and hate and war and terror and all of that? Are we just like watching it and watching it and watching it? What are we doing? What's coming in our ears? So choose wisely, choose good things. Yeah, we need to be up to date on what is happening in the world. We need to be aware. But there's a difference between just finding out what's the latest today and just sitting there watching hours of news or whatever it is. It's kind of a weird addictive thing I think people can get into, but just it's just trash. And our physical ailments, I really believe, have an emotional component. So stop that. Um, Number 6, connect with someone. Just connect with someone on the phone, on a text, on Messenger, on Facebook, in the neighborhood, go to coffee. I mean, some places can do that, some places can't. Connect with someone. My good friend Allison Roebuck, last night she had a post on here. A lot of you know her, about, your single friends. Like, those of us that are, living in a house with somebody else or another adult, we're able to sit and converse about what is going on, and just that ability to just sort of talk it out. And, I'm a person that verbally processes. And so I just need to process, what's going on. But there's a lot of people out there that aren't and can't. And so check on them. I just thought that was such a great post, and my heart went out to her and to anybody in that same situation. And of course, pray. I mean, we have to pray. Prayer changes things. Prayer is effective. So, that's really number 1. Or, the final one, whatever you want to call it. And back on that connecting with someone, a therapist, a pastor too, like reach out to those people. I'm a big believer in all that kind of stuff, because we got to process, right? So I do have a document of 22 stress tips that I created a while back. So it's a PDF I can send it to if you want it, of more stuff on it. So let me know if you do want it. But take care. Just, God bless you and God bless the world. God bless the world. Thank you, Jesus. All right, guys. Love ya. I'll see ya.